Hello and welcome to day 57 of our journey of 96 days through between Ash Wednesday and Pentecost Sunday. 96 days, 89 chapters of 4 Gospels, and we are into Mark. Mark chapter 7. We're getting towards midway point in Mark. There are 16 chapters in Mark's Gospel. And this is my diagram today. We are completing the second row at the bottom today. That is today's square. And we are going to be then heading up here. Mark's Gospel will get us right up to the bottom of the arms of the cross as we head up in our journey towards Pentecost Sunday. And yeah, lots of places to go still, lots still to do. 40 days to go, and we are on Mark chapter 7 today. So let's see what happens. Jesus was out and about all over the place yesterday, walking around even on the water, and he picked up the pace again in his story. Let's see what happens in Mark chapter 7. Some Pharisees and several teachers of the law of Moses from Jerusalem came and gathered around Jesus. They noticed that some of his disciples ate without first washing their hands. The Pharisees and many others obey the teachings of their ancestors. They always wash their hands in the proper way before eating. None of them will eat anything they buy in the market until it is washed. They also follow a lot of other teachings, such as washing cups, pitchers, and bowls. The Pharisees and teachers asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples obey what our ancestors taught us to do? Why do they wash without eating? Why do they eat without washing their hands?" Jesus replied, "You are nothing but show-offs. The prophet Isaiah was right when he wrote what God had said. All of you praise me with your words, but you never really think about me. It is useless for you to worship me when you teach rules made up by humans. You disobey God's commands in order to obey what humans have taught. You are good at rejecting God's commands so that you can follow your own teachings. Didn't Moses command you to respect your father and mother? Didn't he tell you to put to death all who curse their parents? But you let people go by without helping their parents when they should. You let them say what they own has been offered to God. You won't let these people help their parents, and you ignore God's commands in order to follow your own teaching. You do a lot of other things that are just as bad." Jesus called the crowd together again and said, "Pay attention and try to understand what I mean. The food that you put into your mouth doesn't make you unclean and unfit to worship God. The bad words that come out of your mouth are what makes you unclean." After Jesus and his disciples had left the crowd and gone into the house, they asked him what these sayings meant. He answered, "Don't you know what I am talking about by now? You surely know that the food you put into your mouth cannot make you unclean. It doesn't go into your heart, but into your stomach and then out of your body." By saying this, Jesus meant that all foods were good to eat. Then Jesus said, "What comes from your heart is what makes you unclean. Out of your heart come evil thoughts, vulgar deeds, stealing, murder, unfaithfulness in marriage, greed, meanness, deceit, indecency, envy, insult, pride, and foolishness. All of these come from your heart, and they are what make you unfit to worship God." Jesus left and went to the region near the city of Tyre, where he stayed in someone's house. He did not want people to know where he was, but they found out anyway. A woman whose daughter had an evil spirit in her heard where Jesus was, and right away she came and knelt down at his feet. The woman was Greek and had been born in the part of Syria known as Phoenicia. She begged Jesus to force the demon out of her daughter, but Jesus said the children must first be fed. It isn't right to take away their food and feed it to the dogs. The woman replied, "Lord, even dogs eat the crumbs that children drop from the table." Jesus answered, "That's true. You may go now. The demon has left your daughter." When the woman got back home, she found her child lying on the bed. The demon had gone. Jesus left the region around Tyre and went by way of Sidon toward Lake Galilee. He went through the land near the 10 cities known as the Decapolis. Some people brought to him a man who was deaf and could hardly talk. They begged Jesus just to touch him. After Jesus had taken him aside from the crowd, he stuck his fingers in the man's ears. Then he spit and put it on the man's tongue. Jesus looked up toward heaven, and with a groan he said, "Ephphatha," which means open up. At once the man could hear, and he had no more trouble talking clearly. Jesus told the people not to say anything about what he had done, but the more he told them, the more they talked about it. They were completely amazed and said, "Everything he does is good. He even heals people who cannot hear or talk." That's the end of chapter 7 in our journey. More healings. It's a really fascinating gospel, isn't it? As Jesus goes around all over the place and people bring person after person to come and to heal him. You wonder, sort of exactly what was going on. People just bringing those that they loved and those that they wanted. In fact, I love this man that they almost seem to have dragged along who couldn't hear or speak, and we don't know whether the people who brought him were his friends or whether they just brought him to Jesus to say, "Can you heal this man? Can you heal this man?" Like children, sort of coming and wanting to play almost, or to be amazed, wanting to see someone do something amazing. And that's what Jesus was doing. He was showing the power of God among the people, which is why it was so, so amazing to them. Really wonderful stories. Come back tomorrow. We'll be doing Mark chapter 8. It's the final chapter of the first half of Mark's Gospel tomorrow. Come and join me for that. I'll see you there. God bless.